hop right into this one. This is Dorado, and it's Liquid versus NRG.
Advantage as well. It's one thing to come
this
out
is from Twitch,
funny.
not YouTube. So the VOD for this isn't up, and it'll probably be up like tomorrow or something. I have to make sure I don't do anything stupid when it comes to the timer. I will get better today at hitting spacebar. It was one of the biggest feedbacks I've been getting.
So a little bit tricky. Dorado, of course, that's going to be the other map where on.
There was a period where
Alright, I don't know why these people are talking so much about random shit, but let's talk. Liquid's on offense, NRG's on defense. It's gonna be hard for you to see when I'm paused, but God's on McCree, Enigma on Reaper, Seagull on Junkrat. This is a pretty standard lineup other than the Junkrat. Most teams will run Zarya or Diva right now. I'm surprised that they're opting for Junkrat, but it's not a bad pick. It's very good on this map, just because there's very small chokes. So it can work, but I'm a little scared because they don't really have the best ways to deal with this Liquid Genji. So Liquid's running a Widowmaker, which will probably switch off Widowmaker pretty quickly and go Reaper or Zarya, or Diva even. I don't know why neither team is running a tank other than the Reinhardt, which is a little bit bizarre. But Liquid has a pretty straightforward lineup. Generally, you swap out McCree for Genji and you run like a tank buster. Both of these heroes have a hard time killing tanks and like just beefy heroes in general. McCree's not too bad, but you generally want more burst damage. And yeah, Rafa I think just joined their team today.
And then on defense he became very standard on a lot.
Yeah, so it's already gonna switch. He's just gonna go Zarya, and Zarya is really good against Junkrat. It's almost a hard counter. If you don't know why, it's mostly due to the fact that Junkrat rollers just like charge Zarya shield damage like very quickly. So no matter what, it should be at a high percentage, even like at the beginning of the game, as far as its charge. Yeah, this is from today's match. This was like a couple hours ago. I'm watching it on Twitch, not on what's it called? On YouTube, because the YouTube VOD's not up yet. I don't like that they're watching. Yeah, here we go. So Seagull's just gonna hold this room the entire time. He probably won't move unless he gets pushed. It's very hard for them to deal with him here. I wouldn't be surprised if Liquid just went up the staircase right now, but they're going to try to muscle their way in, which is a little bit difficult. This is very strange to me. I'm not sure what happened here because the camera is only on Seagull for some reason, but Milo died to Mezer, which I'm assuming means he got pinned. That really shouldn't happen. I don't know how that happened. They don't have any defensive spells though, or like abilities for what's it called? For Milo. Like the fact that they're opting for the Junkrat instead of the Zarya means that if he gets pinned or pushed, they don't have a save. And that's kind of a weakness with this lineup. Even if it was like a Diva, maybe Diva could have tanked the charge. I don't know. It's just bizarre to me that they lost Milo. Like this is really bad for NRG. They don't have any shield, and as a result, they're gonna lose the ult spam battle because all of the damage that Liquid does is not gonna get mitigated by the Reinhardt shield. But yeah, the camera wasn't on them, so I'm not sure how that happened. I'm assuming it was just a pin, and it was a good pin with like a Zarya bubble.
Indiscriminately rain down damage if you have
but Seagull's just gonna do what he's doing. He's just gonna sit in here and spam because if he peeks, he's dead.
Builds up so much charge unless you get so much done. Seagull currently a little bit backed into a corner, and Meza doing a good job of zoning him out. AZK with
they did a good job here though of getting Milo back to the fight. Like somehow they helped, which is pretty crazy.
That's actually big because that's a lot of long range damage and now being taken out.
But then Rafa kills Gods, Milo kills AZK. They're staggering their deaths a little bit here. They all need to back out, which they're gonna do. Tyre will probably die, but it's just forcing them back. It's just scouting pretty much. Yeah, I mean this is pretty straightforward. I don't know how they held. I feel like they should have just played a little bit slower on Liquid. Like there was no rush for them to end right there. They just needed to get a few picks and play safe. Nobody else should have died. Once they got the kill on Milo, it should have just been
for the fight, though.
a very
Really,
collected
Minstrel
push.
should be able to get Sound Barrier halfway through in case things end up going sour, and here we
But they
go.
have Dragon Blade right now, and they have so many ults. And this is what I was talking about. They have so many ults on Liquid, and it's all because of the fact that they killed Milo. The fact that Milo dies just means that there's no damage block on NRG, and that's pretty much why Reinhardt's a must-have in most lineups, is because he just protects you. So like, McCree does a shit ton of damage, and Genji kind of does a good poke damage, but all of these heroes on NRG are sub 250 health. So the fact that Milo died meant that all of their heroes were able to do damage and stay alive, whereas their heroes were not, because they were just on the back foot.
Willing to commit to push into the other, just a little bit of poking. Both Reinhardt shields getting quite low right now, and here comes Rafa. The fireworks have begun transcendent simultaneously. We've got Sound Barrier.
So it was really fortunate for Liquid here that they were able to get or not Liquid, for NRG, that Dummy was able to get his ult up on the Zenyatta, because it completely countered the Dragon Blade. Mezer's just outplaying Milo though here, and that's pretty much all that's coming down to. Mezer just killed Milo again, which means he probably got the pin off. And when Mezer plays well, Mezer's probably one of the best tanks in North America, like actually one of the best tanks in North America. I mean, there's not that many tanks in North America, but he's definitely one of the better ones. But he just made a lot of really big plays there. Milo still doesn't have ult. This is from the beginning of the game. Milo still never got his ult. Yeah, the double support ult was good. You have to do what you have to do though. I don't expect, like in general, you wouldn't expect Milo to have died. I'm not going to say it's like Milo's fault that he died, because they're running heroes that can't protect him. And they're not really running heroes that care about the shield, I guess, which is strange. Like the Junkrat wasn't playing behind it, the McCree was, but the Reaper really wasn't. So he wasn't really protecting anything other than the supports, but the supports can like play the fountain. So their lineup just kind of, I mean, it's good, it's just they have to play it safer. Like Milo can't get pinned twice. And that's just literally Mezer playing out of his mind. So, I mean, props to him, he won them the point.
And it's like two of your team members are dead, what do? You use it too early, the other team manages to use their support ultimate. It's so difficult to actually time these things with Zenyatta, with
What's this guy talking about?
That's why the support ultimate timing are so important in this game.
Alright, the support ultimate timings are not, I mean, they're so important, but it's nothing incredibly difficult here. What happened was the Dragon Blade came out from Rafa. And Dummy was the only person with ult. Dummy pops ult. I think Pooks got his ult during the Dragon Blade and then just like kind of panic popped it. But I'm gonna assume he didn't get Milo with it, or else Milo wouldn't have died. So while what he's saying about like using your ults is correct and like baiting them or whatever, it wasn't worth it for Pooks to have ulted if Milo was gonna die. And yeah, this walk on the ledge is pretty dope.
Okay, sneaky by AZK here. He's gonna be crouch walking forward.
Because they're gonna jump down. I'm gonna assume what's gonna happen here is they're gonna jump down and fight on the cart, because they're down ult advantage. All they have is Earth Shatter. I think it's weird that Enigma's staying on Reaper. It's not bad. The only person I would say that should switch is probably Seagull, but it's kind of annoying. It's like, it's a rough spot. Like, Reaper's really good. Just in general, Reaper's good. As a hero, like what he does. The only thing that I could say maybe Enigma wanted to play or could play here is like maybe Tracer, because all they have to kill her is the McCree Zenyatta. But that's not really the comp that they're running. Their comp's good though on defense and on offense. Like they're running mirror comps right now, except it's playing Zarya, Enigma's playing Reaper. And like in theory, Reaper's really good against Zarya. But the thing you have to remember is it's all about high ground, and on this point, like this specific point, you generally on offense want heroes that can take the high ground. So AZK is making up for that by playing on this like sneaky ledge. And they know that it has black hole. So if they can get like a good black hole here, they should win the fight, and I guess that's their game plan, especially since Seagull switched off the Junkrat, so he definitely doesn't have Dragon Blade anytime soon. So they know Rafa's gonna have Dragon Blade soon, so they're probably just gonna wait for the combo. If they don't wait for the combo, they can still do work if AZK gets up on this ledge. The thing right now, the problem with this part of the map for the defending team is that the cart has to get touched, right? Like, they have to drop down. And if you drop down, you're dropping down into the McCree, the Genji, the Zarya, and the Reinhardt. Like, that, the Reinhardt and the Zarya enough are, like, scary when you're going on the cart. So having the Reaper is good, but they have no way to like sustain, and that's like a problem with their kit. Is Dummy's like his healing orb can only do so much. He hits the Transcendence probably on Enigma or Seagull, and they don't really have an answer to the Zarya. I mean, they have the Reaper, but if they commit too hard on the Zarya without Mezzer or without what's it called? Without Milo, Mezzer's just gonna ult them. So it's just a weird spot. But the fact it's a really good position right here for Liquid because the cart's just rolling. Like as long as the cart's rolling, they're happy, right? And it's forcing NRG to want to drop on them. But if they drop on them, they have the black hole. And AZK is in such a good position that if they fall off and he gets up top, the only hero that can get up to kill him is Seagull.
He's just waiting, biding his time, so patient here.
This is just really smart play from AZK. Although this Genji's trying to blow his cover because they're gonna try to see the Genji, but
it's got to be a kill. This is gonna be a lot of build up for nothing.
It could. I'm actually looking at Rafa. I'm wondering if while everyone is looking at.
I don't know what just happened. But this is what happens a lot in this game. Is like the casters are literally watching a fucking wall. Like AZK is gonna make a play, but he's not. Like he's just sitting here. What's he gonna do? High noon the wall? Like, put the camera on someone that can see things. This is so silly to me. They have 5 ults right now, so it doesn't matter that they died. In reality, so this ult advantage is gonna be ginormous for them. Dummy will probably have Transcendence by the time the fight starts, and if Pooks can live through the fight, he'll have Drop the Beat by the time the ult ends, or by the time Transcendence is over. But yeah, this is really difficult. I mean, it's hard for me to analyze this because I'm not really sure how Mezzer died. He died to a Genji, but in my head that makes 0 sense because they have a Zarya to save him and they have like dang, like I don't know what happened here. But at the same time, God's probably just poked over the ledge, right? So they pushed the cart without their DPS players. Like Liquid had Liquid had Rafa and AZK just sitting here. So the other 4 heroes were kind of like out to dry. In theory, they should have been proactive and just popped Dragon Blade into Zarya ult. Just tried to take a fight that way, and then AZK could high noon over the top. But since they didn't, Mezzer dies, and then Dahang doesn't want to pop his ult because you don't want to pop your ult without your tank. Like the tank makes the most out of the Zenyatta ult. So they're just in a weird spot here, but I can't really tell you what happened. I'm gonna assume that the Genji just poked headshots down from the bridge onto the Reinhardt, and then Seagull went in and cleaned him up. So that was probably just Gods and Seagull. But again, once Mezzer's down, they don't have anything. And Id probably wasn't paying attention because he was probably trying to line up his black hole. But now they just have to back up, and they just wasted like 20 minutes on this cart. All right, that was pretty bad. I'm not sure how that even happens. That was like panic to the max. That's just a mistake from AZK. First of all, they wasted 20 minutes watching him stare at a wall just for him to fall down and miss a right click like kill on the Reaper. Like that's just, it doesn't matter that he doesn't get that kill because even if he gets that kill, they're not going to convert anything from it because they still don't have high ground. But killing the Reaper, there's a pretty big deal. Like if Enigma died, it would have been a pretty big pick.
It looks like that was actually really good, patient build-up from NRG.
This is a good shot though. This is literally all you want to do on this map, is sit here and like make them come to you. You only want to drop down if the cart's getting in the area where it's gonna come up this ramp. As long as the cart's underneath this bridge, like in front of it, it's very hard for offense to come through this choke. In reality, I think, or in a 50-50 scenario where both teams have equal ult and everything else is even, like they're all the same in terms of like their ults and their skill level. I don't know that Liquid's comp would be able to deal with this setup that they have. But this is very stable. Like they can't fall. If they fall, they can fight only if they have their ults. So like they can pick their fights when they're up here because there's no way for them to come up. The only hero that's getting up here is the Genji. So if they can wait long enough on NRG to just build their ults, then they can take a fight down the cart. Otherwise, they have like the world's worth of time to stand here. And I think that there's like a spot where you can like kind of block the cart over here without falling down. I don't know if it's still there. But I know, just like looking at this, the fact that the first point fight went so bad is 100% the reason why Liquid's going to have an easy time taking this fight. Because they're just going to push the cart to 6, and it's going to force NRG to have to come down, and unless Milo gets like the fattest Earth Shatter of his life, they're not going to win the fight.
I think we need to give them a lot of credit there. Milo didn't collapse. They were recognizing that they were winning the poke war. A lot of members of Team Liquid were slowly getting down, and they had to back up, they had to heal up, and now they're coming in for round 2.
Okay, God's up top. He's going to be whittling down that Reinhardt shield. Both Reinhardt shields on the verge of collapsing, and Pooks will drop his sound barrier. Rafa already down and out of this fight, and actually that sound barrier is going to force out the Transcendence from, it looks like that.
How did they get it so fast? I'm not even sure how that happened. Pooks got ult there, but Pooks shouldn't have had ult. Mezer's about to die. That was just good. I mean, they were proactive. Like, they did what I thought that they were going to do earlier. But they traded, it's fine. Alright, so like what happened was fine for them. But if they had done it 5 seconds before, if they had taken the fight where they were spawned, like, staring at AZK, doing nothing at the wall, if they had popped the black hole there with the Dragon Blade, there would have been no Pooks ult and no dummy ult. So they would have just won right there. Like, that fight would have just been over. But because of those 2 picks on the cart, it slowed them down like a whole minute, and they lost, you know? So all they had to do was be faster with those ults and like recognize that they were ahead by so much. Pooks just got his ult, Dummy just got his ult, but now they have both. The silver lining here is that I'm assuming Mezer's probably gonna die, I don't know though. But if Mezer doesn't die, Liquid wins probably this next fight. But if Mezer does die, NRG is in a good position because Dummy still has ult and Minstrel and Dahang do not.
From Dahang, indeed it is.
Oh,
Alright, and there goes Mezer. But then Dummy pops Transcendence. Why?
Seagull now trying to get a couple of kills. He spots Mezzer, gets him.
Oh, okay. Alright, I see what happened. Seagull popped Dragon Blade, which is okay, but now they're down ults again. And this is like what I mean when I say you don't want to pop 2 support ults on defense at the same time. There's going to be a window here where Minstrel's going to have dropped the beat and they're going to have no answer to it. Like, they just dropped so many ults on defense. Like, they won the fight. They had already, once they killed Mezer, they didn't need to keep going. Unless they'd already Dragon Bladed, but again, I can't really tell because I'm watching point of views of like people staring at walls. So it was just a bizarre situation. But the biggest problem here was that they didn't just drop the black hole into the Genji sword on the first push, because they would have just won on the first push during that whole AZK staring at the wall thing. But now Enigma has his ult, and he'll probably go for a big play here. The thing is, though, once Minstrel gets his ult, they don't really have an answer to it. And this is... see, Rafa's like... Rafa just... You didn't see it, or maybe you did, but Rafa just tried to switch from Genji to Winston, because he knows that they need high ground, and they know that they need to deal with Seagull. So Mezer switches to Winston. And this is what I meant, like, when the ults are even, or when, like, the teams are even, it's going to be very hard for them to cap without taking control of the high ground, and you need heroes that can take control of the high ground. I don't know why... I don't know what this Junkrat's doing. It's like, he's going to switch, and he was just, like, making space, but a D.Va would be good.
Basically, if there was a matchup with...
Actually, this is genius. I'm actually so dumb. I've never seen this before, but in theory, this is really smart. The comp from Liquid, they're just going to spam rollers up that ledge. And anyone standing on this entire, like, ramp here is just going to eat roller spam. And the second that they eat roller spam, they're going to dive the Genji and the Winston on them. And it's, I don't know if it's going to work, but it's pretty cool. I mean, I've never seen a team do it, but I understand the principle behind it. It seems like a good idea on paper. I don't know if they practice this or how they came up with this, but it's pretty smart. Like, see? Now they have to dodge rollers up here. So they can't, like, freely stand on this ledge. What? What are they doing? Why was that the play? It wasn't the play. Just wait. Like, bait your team. You have ult. You can't die first. Let gods die. If gods got flashbanged, they would have killed them all. That's just bad play, I guess. Like, if he just waited half a second and baited the shit out of gods, he would have gotten an ult off. Because he doesn't, gods is probably going to die. I mean, gods will probably live and kill AZK, but...
Too aggressive. A very
yeah,
nice
AZK dies.
from AZK will go down to Seagull, but that is 3 kills.
This is so weird. What am I watching right now? Okay. So let's take like 2 steps back. The Junkrat rollers force their hand. They're like, shit guys, we can't hold this upper area. Let's drop down. Okay. Enigma's like, I have ult guys, let's go. He drops down. AZK's just waiting for him, dude. AZK just won this fight for them because he just canceled Enigma's ult and they just instantly kill Enigma. So then God's like, shit, I have to kill AZK. But then they trade. So now Enigma and Gods are down, right? Enigma and Gods just died in front of Milo. Like, they only have Seagull right now that's alive as their damage. And Milo has 10 HP, and he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna Earth Shatter. But they were down AZK and Mezzer at this point. So, the cart, if Milo just held that ult, they'd have it for the next fight. Which would probably make a big difference, because they don't have a fucking Reinhardt on Liquid. But now Liquid's gonna probably be able to just push in.
They now have a
See, fucking it, dude. That's actually insane that he gets that kill, and that's pretty game winning too.
It's gonna be enough time for NRG to at least regroup and stop
this is pretty good defense from NRG though. Like, they're holding them, and they force Liquid to switch their classes, but it's all coming down to Liquid just not dropping the black hole in the Genji ult fast enough. You have to like recognize when you're at an advantage and just take it. And this is genius actually. This adds to the push. I didn't see this coming because I didn't even think about it. But the fact that they have the Junkrat now means that if they win the fight, he can do stuff like this, which is just spam that little doorway. And now there's only 2 ways for NRG to come in, which is the main gate and this bank area. And you don't really want to come out of either of them because you'll lose height advantage.
Getting triggered straight away, not quite able to get the kill to start off with Milo.
But he's just making space right now. This is really good from him. It's just it's just a smart play. So he's just scouting with this tire. He's forcing the Zenyatta out of the fight. The Zenyatta's gonna get out, but she's alone. He's alone. What's the Zenyatta doing now? The Zenyatta's just running.
That's gonna be going on in the back. But hang on a second, 2v1 with a Reaper, that's just unfair.
What just happened?
And Hank forced to push back as
Enigma's just doing work right now. He still hasn't even hit his Q.
That analogy for Zenyatta. But Enigma sort of feels like he's by himself. Of course, he's got friendly Zenyatta. He's got Milo, who switched on over to, of course, Winston. Gonna tickle.
This game is like throwing me off completely. They pushed the tire. They could have killed the Lucio instantly with the tire. He just chose not to. He was like, fuck it, I'm not going to. He opts not to throw the tire onto the Lucio, which probably would have been good. The Lucio would be dead. Milo switched off of Reinhardt to go Winston, which is fine because they want to control high ground. Winston versus Winston's pretty normal on this map. You can ditch your Reinhardt on this map specifically because you're more concerned with holding this bridge. But now NRG is in such a great position that I'm not sure how they lose. Because Enigma still hasn't used his ult because he hasn't had to. And Dummy has Transcendence. I mean, both supports are going to have support ults. So I'm going to guarantee what happens here is the NRG supports just use their ults incorrectly. Or poorly timed or some shit, and then someone dies that shouldn't. Because ult v ult situations right here literally come down to timing, like which team uses their shit better. Seagull's like, I have Dragon Blade, let's fight them. Which is kind of okay. But he's discorded and fighting a monkey. And then Rafa's like, I have Dragon Blade, let's fight them. So this is about to be like Clash of the Titans, guys. Like, Liquid kind of have the upper hand because the only heroes that don't have ult are the monkey and the Reaper, so they should be able to deal with each other. But it's going to come down to whose DPS actually die. It's probably going to come down to like one of those fights where 2 Genjis draw their swords at the same time and then they just try to swipe at each other. Here comes Seagull's sword, where he instantly kills Mezzer, but then AZK kills Gods. The second that Brandon drops his ult, This is bizarre to me that they both popped him at the same time. But the second that Seagull pops his ult, they probably should have just popped Transcendence immediately and not let Gods die. But they just traded the McCree for the Winston. But they still have the Reaper. So it's gonna come down now. This is really strange. I actually don't know who's gonna win this fight, but that's because of the ults.
With the Death Blossom, he gets taken out, and right now it's 4-on-4. Both teams trading kills, but NRG
so they hold them.
And Team Liquid are looking like they're gonna get held here.
Yeah, Seagull is making it happen, and with just a couple of seconds.
So NRG actually played this really well. Unless some crazy shit happens here. Enigma switched Tracer, but that was just to get back to the car faster.
Expire as well. That is yet another kill for Seagull as the Genji Rafa jumps onto the point. It's not going to be enough though. NRG is going to hold here almost for sure. Yes, indeed, it's going to happen. Liquid.
Later, dude. Thanks for the sub, Connor.
But NRG, they had what it took to keep that payload from rolling.
And look at this highlight clip. This isn't even a highlight clip. They lost that fight.
So NRG are making a case.
They're trying so hard to like up production value. It's so strange. Alright, let's go to offense.
Definitely don't expect Gods to stick on.
Okay, prepare to attack. Gods, this has to be a troll lineup unless they're trying some stupid shit. And this happens, right? This happens in games where teams think like, oh, we have this in the bag. Let's run some dumb shit. We don't even have to cap the second point. We just have to make it there. If you're gonna run comps like that, there's like two ways to do it. If you don't, let's put this in like terms for you guys. If you want, if time is out the window, right? If like you really don't have to worry about time, which they don't. Time is out of the question. All you have to do is cap 2 points. If you have infinite time, and by infinite I mean like the 3 minutes per point or whatever to cap, you should just run a comp that you can win with. Like run a comp that can get their ults and just go. Like run the Ana instead of the Zenyatta. Go Ana, Genji, Winston, Reinhardt, Zarya or something with a McCree in there instead of a Reinhardt maybe. Or instead of a Winston. And just use your spells and just kill them all. And get the team wipe. There's no pressure on you to do it fast. You just have to do it. And if you like keep pushing 6 people in at the same time, like fast enough, you'll eventually get your ults and you'll probably just win without them. As long as you're coordinated about it. If you try this cheeky shit, which I don't know if they're actually going to try this cheeky shit, but we'll find out if they're going to try this cheeky shit.
I guess nothing would surprise.
I have to say replay. This isn't a replay. This is live. Production, please.
Ice barrier around the archway does buy teams a lot of time.
So here's the thing too. They have the Zarya on defense, which is ginormous. Like Zarya is very hard to push into. And this, maybe they watched the VOD that I watched of them versus Fnatic, where they ran the Zarya on cool map. Because, or maybe they just watched that themselves, but they don't run the fucking Reaper. And you need the Reaper here. This map screams Reaper. The reason why Reaper is so good on offense is because you have to fight in, you can take fights in here, and you can force a fight in here as Reaper. If you get into this doorway, someone has to fight you. If you get down this staircase, someone has to fight you in the staircase. There's a health pack down there, there's a health pack off to the right. You can fight here. It's just gonna control this entire area, and if he gets into a fight from here where he's gonna die, he goes into the health pack. If someone comes from here, he can back up to the health pack. And he can just fight around this little, like, I don't know what this is, this farmer's market thing and the fountain and just bait around it and take really close range shots where a Reaper is just really good. Reaper is probably the hardest counter to Mei in the game when teams say like, oh, they have 2 tanks. And you're like, no, they only have a Mei. Like, Mei is pretty tanky. And you want a hero like Reaper who can like 2-shot her through the slow and then hit your shift if you're going to get slowed. But now this Reaper is just working triple overtime because he can kill Milo, he's good against Enigma, and he's good against Gods. I don't know if they're going to stay on this, they might just be trolling, but if they are, it's just going to have a farm fest.
But you just, yeah, you don't really,
they're trying too hard to innovate, and I don't understand it.
What are you going to do after that? Where is your DPS actually coming from?
But they don't have damage on NRG.
Finally going to be switching on, and this is going to be fun actually.
Okay, so he gets off Mango's Widow, which is alright. Widow's not bad, but you have to get picks. But they're not running. What is this? Alright. I'm actually, this is tilting me. You're playing offense on Dorado. I don't care if you're in a pub. I don't care if you're in a scrim. I don't care if you're like fucking around with your friends in quick play. If you don't have a Reinhardt on offense, you're going to lose. It doesn't matter how good you are. how much you outskill the other team, and that never matters in this game. It doesn't matter how good Enigma is on Zarya right now. It doesn't matter how good Milo's Roadhog is. How are they getting through this choke without a Reinhardt? This tilts me. Even a diva, like you could maybe get away with a diva, but they don't even have a diva. It's just gonna run at them with Zarya bubble, and they're gonna have no answer to it. It's gonna be crazy. Let's watch. Let's watch this unfold. This is a throw. This is some serious throw. Just get Reinhardt. You can run Roadhog if you want, but you should just run the Reaper. But get rid of this replay sign. This isn't a replay. This is live. Or it was live.
Here the peeking begins. He's at least going to be able to spot everything out for his team. But not much else.
Or maybe this automatically goes on their VODs. That's weird. I don't even know if that's a thing.
There's no Reinhardt, by the way, and Milo actually overextending.
So Dahang kills Milo. Alright, and let's talk about why Dahang killed Milo. Because every team in this game runs Zenyatta. You're not going to not see a Zenyatta. You might, maybe on this map you could get away with not running Zenyatta. You could run Mercy. You could probably run Symmetra if you really wanted to. But you're trying to run Roadhog instead of Reinhardt into Zenyatta. Every time Zenyatta hits E and puts Discord on Milo, Enigma has to bubble it off, or he's just gonna feed. And we saw there, he fed. Dahang now has 50% ult. Like, that's huge. And the Reinhardt is charging ult while Milo's dead, playing a hero that can't even stop Reinhardt ult. At any point in time, Mezzer can ult, and they can't do anything about it. Rafa can ult. They don't have any damage block. It's insane. Id can ult, and they don't even have a McCree to stop the ult from Id. This is just a straight out composition to the point where I'm not even sure like why they're okay with this. This doesn't make sense. Like NRG can go back and say like, oh, our team's not playing well, but it's not even that. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Like that at all, because there's no shield to hide behind. If you overextend by even just a bit, Team Liquid are going to be all over you.
Like, is nobody on their team like saying, guys, we need a shield?
So you do have to be careful. Now,
like Milo respawned as Roadhog. They have a Zenyatta.
Here's the thing: the entirety of Team Liquid is going to be able to take refuge behind that.
And they know where Gods is, so they can just spam him. Gods isn't going to do anything. This is tilting me. It's like actually tilting me.
As well. So God's going to struggle to find more picks.
Like, is Dahang gonna go AFK? Alright, here we go. What just happened, guys? It killed the Roadhog because he's playing a Reaper and they have no way to deal with a Reaper. They get all these picks and it's cool because they could have done it without the shitty heroes. They kill Id from Gods hitting a shot, which is cool. Great, Gods hit a shot. Id's down. But Milo doesn't have ult. Dahang has ult because he just fed, like Milo just fed Dahang ult. So Dahang has ult. Dummy, I guess, just done a lot of healing because he has ult too. But Dahang ult counters Seagull's ult. So now they're in like this weird spot where they still don't have a shield. So if at any time Mezzer is just bored or sees an opening, he can just hit Q and just get a 5-man right shatter. Because they have to come up this ramp. Because they can't come from this side because they can't split up their team because they don't have a shield.
Basically, they need to see some sort of
this is some like dribble shit, guys. But they know Gods is there. They don't have a Reaper or a Genji or something to kill him. This is a good pick. Like I like the Widowmaker. It's making space.
The rest of the team though pushing up in the face and doing a reasonable job. Transcendence.
They baited Transcendence, which is huge. This is just a good like play because now that they have Transcendence out of the picture, the Dragon Blade has a lot of room to do work. Minstrel now has to get dropped the beat before Seagull pops Dragon Blade, but Seagull should just instantly pop Dragon Blade right now and push him with Dummy.
Being forced out now from Team Liquid because frankly the payload has actually moved up quite far and Seagull now coming
oh my god. Okay, they would have won that fight for sure. But one huge play from AZK. This might have just been smart from AZK because he knew exactly what was going to happen. He knew that since they wasted Transcendence, or they had to pop Transcendence, I don't know if it was a waste, but since they had to pop Transcendence, the obvious play from NRG was to pop Dragon Blade with Transcendence. The only way you get a kill through Transcendence is with High Noon. So the High Noon on Seagull was huge. But who's gonna stop the high noon? They don't have a shield. So anybody that's in line of sight of AZK is just dead. But that's game winning actually. The good news for Seagull is that he gets half of it back, which is just the game being silly and like rewarding you for making bad plays. But let's be real, like that was a huge play from AZK. He just wasted 3 ults. He literally, with that high noon, the high noon that you get on like a 10-second cooldown, because it takes 5 seconds to build high noon, he nullified Transcendence, Dragon Blade, and Black Hole. It took them like a minute and a half to get that. It was sick. That's just a massive play from AZK. Like that's so game winning. And since he wins that shit, they have no shield now to back up, so everyone's just gonna die. Pooks has to run. They have nothing to stop damage from Rafa. Rafa popped Black Hole there too, I guess, which is fine. I don't know why they're being stubborn though. This is so stubborn. This is like if this was a pub, I'd be so mad. I'd be raging. Can you get off Widowmaker? Can you get on Reinhardt? But what do I know, I guess. They're trying so hard to force this Widowmaker down their throats. Like, just fucking get a Reinhardt, dude. Are they trying to be different? Is that what they're doing? Like, is this like them making a statement? Like, we can beat you with new shit? Or we know the next patch or something? Yeah, I don't get it.
They're not really worth it. Seagull going down though separately after taking one out. It looks like the rest of the team are going to try and engage in. They have to be very fast though. Rafa is there. He gets taken down, and this might actually be an opening they need. It's a 4v3 on top of the card right now as Liquid gets sent back.
Oh yeah, this is certainly everything they needed. Finally, Milo's able to get that juicy.
I don't know where Minstrel was. There's Minstrel. Minstrel just popped ult on id.
Here comes ID from the back. What? Only a few of them were up. What is going on here? AZK moving forward.
That was crazy. That was just a really good play. That was like very heads up play. I thought they were gonna lose the fight, but what happened was Minstrel saved his drop the beat, for id and AZK. So I think Rafa was dead and Mezzer was, or they were down people. I can go back a little bit and see what. Yeah, they lost Mezzer and they lost Rafa. And then id backs up, and then Minstrel's like, we can go back in, because I have dropped the beat. So when he drops the beat here, he gets the Zenyatta, the McCree, and the Reaper. So now the Reaper just has a farm fest in front of him, like, insane.
Trying to get a zoning ult. This is buying them time. Is this going to buy them enough time for the rest of the team to come in, though? I can't say oh man, I don't know about this push. Milo now with the ultimate is going to wear down that shield in a matter of seconds. That Reinhardt shield is down, but a nice charge comes up from Mesrar. He will get taken down, though, by Enigma before the charge.
I say Mesrar. His name is Mezzer.
Yes, they were able to delay. Only 33 seconds left on the clock, but they also wasted a crap ton of ults.
Okay. It worked out for them. Don't get me wrong. They capped. But they could have done it a lot quicker and a lot easier if they just had a Reinhardt. Even if Milo, like, you could say that they should have won if AZK didn't hit that high noon, but Milo didn't help that play anyway. Like, he didn't do anything to make that Black Hole into Dragon Blade into Transcendence work. Maybe they were just waiting for it because they knew that that was their win condition and they just weren't expecting the high noon. But imagine if they had speed boosted a Reinhardt it with them and the Reinhardt just blocked that high noon or something. It would have been fine. But they didn't. So now they cap, but the cart has a lot of way to go, and they don't have any damage block on the cart right now. Liquid can just hold the upper bridge like NRG did, except they don't have a hero that can get up top except for the Genji. And the Genji is not gonna 1v5 or 1v6 AZK and Mezzer and Rafa and id. Like, I think Liquid can stay on these heroes because they know that they shouldn't have lost that push. They're probably surprised they lost that push because they felt like they could have won it. The only thing I would have switched maybe is taken like AZK and put him on Genji. The McCree's always good, don't get me wrong, but they needed something to deal with that Widowmaker, and I think God's got a pick or two, which probably made a big difference. Every pick matters.
And they did that without, by the way, one of their DPSs being right at that.
See, they're like feeling themselves right now. They like know that they just did well.
So Seagull died very early in that
but this
fight.
isn't
For him to come back. But crucially,
the card hasn't moved yet, so it doesn't really matter that they're doing all this.
Taking advantage of, you think you've just got the point.
Like, how are they gonna stop them from fighting? Mezzer and Rafa have ults, and that should be enough. As long as they don't use them both at the same time. They can use them at the same time if they have to, but
They were only
Hooks and Dummy don't have ult, so one of them should be enough.
in the last minute. Not great. Not
What's up,
close to
Dale?
that either. Teams tend to get that first
He
one
left.
a little bit quicker, evenly matched teams. So still a chance for Liquid, even though
Huge black
getting
hole.
closer and closer to facing a
Both tanks. AZK comes in and cleans up. And they're going to instantly go back upstairs. I would imagine that they're just going to instantly get back upstairs. AZK is just hitting his shots right now, which is sick. Yeah, they're all just going to go right back upstairs.
Now, bear in mind, only 2.5 minutes left.
I think it's just saying I'm better than you. I'm going to play Widowmaker. And you know why else it's smart? This is really smart. Let's talk about this for a second. He gets off the Reaper to play Widowmaker. I think they finally realized that Milo needed to go Reinhardt, which good for them. The onus is on NRG right now to bait out Dahang's ult without committing too hard. The problem that they have is that they can't. You know? What is really scary to Dahang other than Dragon Blade? If they trade Dragon Blade for Dahang's Transcendence, then that's great for Liquid. But they don't have a hero that can pop Transcendence for them. Unless Gods hits a crazy shot, I would expect Liquid to be able to counter this Black Hole Dragon Blade. But I was going to say, the reason why id going Widow is really smart is because he has a Reinhardt on his team. And now that id's on Widowmaker and he has a Reinhardt, they need the Reinhardt to protect them from the Widowmaker. They shouldn't have taken that long to go Reinhardt.
Away from completion, so it's all about this final dog.
Gods could switch to Tracer, Gods could play Winston, Gods could play
what month is it?
but yeah, Tracer would be good. This is like Tracer's very good on this point too. I wouldn't hate the Tracer. This would be a really good trade. So like here. What are you doing, dude? Why? Why? He pops Dragon Blade when they're still ulted by Transcendence. It'll last longer than Transcendence, which is great. Good for him. But I would have been happy if I were them if I just traded the Black Hole for the Transcendence. Because now they don't have an answer to the Dragon Blade. Mitchell's going to have ult right now. I don't know if Mitchell gets his ult or if Message is going to Earthshatter his ass. But I would expect Message is going to Earthshatter his ass. Nope. Gods did some damage. This is insane, actually, if they hold this. I think that they do hold this.
Looking fantastic for NRG. They only have to push the payload probably another 20 meters.
Yeah, he went in and he was like, I'm out of here.
And most likely,
It goes Tracer. And this is smart. Talk about why this is smart. Tracer's probably the best hero to kill Reinhardt in the game, or just deal with Reinhardt. Also really good against Zenyatta. They don't have a McCree on NRG. They haven't had a McCree this entire time. At any point in time, the Tracer would have been good. Because they don't have any answer to it other than the Zenyatta. But Zenyatta's not really enough. So, if id plays well, they're not going to kill him. He already just killed Gods. The only heroes that can really kill him reliably is Dummy, but
that's going to be very useful for them as well.
don't expect Dummy to kill him.
They don't need to delay. They need to win.
If he can get on, ooh, that's unfortunate. Everyone's just popping ults right now. They're like, fuck it, we have to hold.
This is either a complete hold or they lose it right here, right now. AZA coming in with the Deadeye, trying to get some purchase, not able to do that, but he is.
This is crazy. This is a crazy fight.
Stop Enigma, and that's actually a pretty big tank influence.
God switches to Tracer now, but AZK is on McCree, so God's just gonna have a hard time playing games right now.
I'd rather they fall back and fight together at this point, to be honest, because the DPS...
They're panicking hard on NRG right now, though. Look at them. They're like dashing into the cart and shit one by one. Seagull's gonna die late. Why is he not staggering? Well, he's staggering his death. Don't stagger your deaths. Alright, Seagull's dead. That just delays their push. But instead, Gods is here. Now God's gonna die late. Alright, cool. Everyone just keep feeding. This is the feed train. All aboard. It gets a kill. And now they're like, guys, regroup, back out, please. And Liquid's like, fuck that, we're chasing you. And then AZK just gets 2 more kills. They had a minute. The thing was at a minute 15 or some shit. They just had to wait. They just staggered like 5 deaths for 35 seconds. Just fucking take the push again. Just wait 5 seconds.
But now it means they definitely
If he was on
have
Tracer
one push left, and it's
2 minutes ago, they would have been
in
fine.
overtime
He
as well. So
forced the
it's
Widow
now
down their
with
throat.
NRG.
But they had a Reinhardt up on that
They
bridge. What the hell's the Widow
Liquid
gonna do
can hold
on
this.
that
They
second
just
point?
straight up win it
Nothing.
2-0.
Literally nothing.
Oh, Dehang is out of his mech, so it's almost like a 5 or 6. It's maybe like a 6 versus 5.
Someone made this call. Raph has black hole. Fuck it, we're gonna hit 3 of them.
Surge comes out. Is that enough? Is anyone on the point?
Oh, and Milo
They need to
just
keep
about
the
moved
overtime
through.
going. Big,
No.
big Earth Shatter comes and kill after kill after kill.
That's it.
Liquid just.
That's just sloppy, guys. I don't even want to analyze this. Or there's nothing to analyze here. You had the advantage. You just needed to group up. It got that pick as the Tracer. You killed the Tracer. This is just a composition throw. There was nothing crazy about this game other than they didn't want to win. And I don't know why they didn't want to win. If Gods just played McCree the entire game, and Milo just played Reinhardt the entire game, the chances of them winning go up like 1,000,000%. And if Seagull goes Reaper and just kills Rafa over and over, they probably would have won too. And they could have deathballed the cart in the second phase or gotten a diva just to soak up some damage. But they had 1:15 or whatever to cap that last section, and they just trickled in one. It's like a fucking conveyor belt of death. Like they just walk in one at a time and you just die, 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 die. The thing is, like, you have to realize, like, you need to switch. And he stayed on Genji the entire time. Genji's not bad on this map. But if you're going to run Genji, you might as well just run a Winston the entire game. Not a Roadhog. If you're going to run Winston Genji, why not just throw a Tracer in and just run this, like, triple super aggressive strategy where you just run 3 people with a bubble, like a healing orb, and just treat it like the old meta where you could just put orbs on everybody and just have a Transcendence or a Harmony orbed Genji with a Winston there with like Lucio speed boost, and you just like run 5 people at them while like a God's flanks above. Like there's so many plays you can do, but you can't do everything at once, and like they're trying to do everything at once. Generally speaking, you don't want to run Genji with Reinhardt because they don't really do well together. Like you can Earth Shatter and whatever, but Genji Winston just sounds so much scarier, right? Like a monkey jumps you and then suddenly there's a fucking Genji in front of you too, and like how do you kill both of them? And then imagine if a Tracer was there at the same time too. Like how do you, it's so hard, like that's just so overwhelming, and you could run stuff like that. Especially if you have like a Zarya bubble too. You could throw a Zarya bubble on a Winston and then have a Tracer. It's like very hard to kill any of them. But they tried too hard to run this comp that had no synergy. Like they could have shaved off a lot of time on that first push if they had a Reinhardt. They could have just walked in. Or a Reaper. They could have just walked in and killed Rafa. You just speed boost in with your Reaper and you bubble him as Zarya and you just shoot whatever's in front of you. But they like chose not to, and I don't really get why. I guess in their heads they thought that the black hole plus the Genji sword was gonna win them every single fight, and they just wanted to end the fight. So like this was their comp that they were like gonna win with and just not even care about the time. But that gets completely fucked if you don't have an answer to the Zenyatta, because the Zenyatta is gonna beat you every single time. If you see a Dragon Blade as Zenyatta, you just hit Q, and you're like, okay, team, just come stand here. We're not going to die. And that's all you need to do. So you need a hero that can force out the Zenyatta ults. And you don't have one because you're not running a Winston or a Tracer. So like if you have a Winston or a Tracer, you can force the Zenyatta ults, and then drop your Black Hole, and then drop your Dragon Blade, and you'll get like a 5k. But they like assumed that Liquid was going to be dumb enough to like not save their ults. And then it was like too late by the time that they realized why they were losing. Like even an Ana might have been good. Like you could have gone Ana Genji and just dropped the Zenyatta and just like popped. You can do some cool shit with Ana too. Like if you're running Ana into Zenyatta and you just black hole the Zenyatta and you just throw the Ana nuke on it, you can just stop the healing and get kills that way. Like that's like a way to do it too. So like you can run this comp, but you need to ditch the Zenyatta because your Zenyatta's not doing anything. Just run a fucking Ana and hit Q on the Genji and then throw E into the black hole. And that's a really good comp. If you want to win your games in pubs or something and you want like a sure shot way to end your games, you need like a good Ana, a good Zarya, a Genji, and that's pretty much it. Because the 3 of those heroes can win a fight by themselves. But if you have a Reinhardt there too, and like a Lucio to like make it faster, and like an Earth Shatter if you need it, and a High Noon to like scare them, you can just pop all 5 ults at the same time. You'll probably win every single time. Because I'm pretty sure you can out damage a Zenyatta ult with a Dragon Blade that has Ana ult on top of it. There's like a bunch of different things that they could have done differently, and it probably would have worked out better for them. But this was never going to work. So props to Liquid for winning. But like as we saw, Liquid's offense wasn't that good. But it didn't matter that Liquid's offense wasn't that good. And this just goes back to the teams not switching their heroes. You can run D.Va, Winston, Genji, Tracer on offense as like a legitimate comp and just overload the bridge. Knock people off with the D.Va. Like run a D.Va. You like can do this thing where like the D.Va goes on top of the McCree and then hits the defense matrix, and then a Tracer just mows down the McCree. And that's really strong, and it's gonna become a thing once teams like start doing it. And then you have a bubble, like if you need it. You can also run the Zarya with that comp, but in reality, they could have ran this like weird ass comp and just switched out the Zenyatta for an Ana, and it probably would have worked. But they didn't. The game is hard. That's all I can say about that. Thoughts on Genji's ult needing a nerf? I mean, it's really good. I would say it's too. I do agree it's too good when you compare it to like the ults of other heroes. I think ult refunds need to go. I don't mind so much that Genji can ult, because there's a lot of counters to Genji ult. Like you can Earth Shatter him, you can flashbang him, you can do all this shit. The problem is that if he like pops his ult and you flashbang him, he gets it back, and they have to do it again. It's like really hard to do. I wouldn't say Genji ults have been winning fights right now, especially since Transcendence is such a good counter. But I agree, like it's the range on the sword might be too long, stuff like that. But I don't know. It's not as good as people think it is. It's just very overpowered in pubs because it's very hard to use, like to counter it in a pub. But that's it. I mean, unless anyone has any questions, because there's not really much for me to talk about here. I just feel like they tried too hard to force an composition down Liquid's throat that was never going to work. And I feel like Liquid just didn't respond well on their offense, but they knew how to play the defense. Like they played the defense really well. But I don't know if they played so well. I don't know if they played well or if it was NRG just not responding correctly. So whatever. Okay, does anyone have questions? Otherwise I'm gonna kill the VOD, upload this shit to YouTube, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow or something. Alright. That's it then. Yeah. This will be episode 4. I'll put it on YouTube. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you everyone who followed. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. Oh, and here's like another thing I'm going to start doing. I had this idea. Someone messaged me. They said you should have your subs send you VODs, and I'll analyze the VODs. And I'm going to start doing that. Someone already subbed and sent me a VOD. So I'm going to start doing point of view VODs. Like if someone's like, oh, why is my Tracer bad? Or why is my McCree bad in this game? Or even like, why is my team losing this scrim? I can do stuff like that. So I'll do that too. I'm also down to like watch team VODs if a player's like, oh, okay, my team lost. Why did we lose? And then they'll give me the VOD. I'm down to do that. And for people asking like why I know so much, or like why is what. You could say I'm wrong. Like, there's probably stuff I'm saying that's wrong. Like, I'm probably not seeing the biggest picture on everything here. But I would say my analysis here is pretty good of what the problems are. But if you want to know why I know this stuff or something, it's because I played like 6,000 hours of Dota. I played like 6,000 hours of TF2. So I like no-life the shit out of those 2 games. And this game kind of meshes the 2 of them together in that I can see the macro picture from the ult standpoint. And I can see like the DM aspects from the like just hero damage standpoint. So I have a pretty good understanding of each hero's damage output, like their ranges, as well as their spell combinations. And I think that there's a big gap right now in the top teams, in that some teams have players that do understand that and others don't. And some players are trying to play like this deathmatchy game, when in reality it really does come down to the macro. Most of the fights I called tonight were pretty spot on in terms of the outcome. I mean, sometimes like you don't expect the high noon to get a triple kill. That shouldn't happen, or like that generally doesn't happen. That was just a crazy play. But like there's always room for like one player to win you a point or lose you a point. But generally speaking, you put yourself in a better position when you use your ults at the correct times in the correct like time windows. But yeah, I played for a professional team for like 3 months before right now, and now I'm just chilling. I kind of want to get into analysis anyway, so this is good practice. But thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna kill the stream, and later.